So let's have a look at the topology in the side bags. That's one of these on the side here. You can see they've got some really nice lines that I really don't have going. So you can see these nice contours. They make sense. The lines contour around. In fact, there's one that runs all the way around the bag, around the outside here. You can see it there. And I do have that one, and we're going to extend that. But you've got these nice contours that make sense. And I don't have that currently right now because I was just doing it real quick. And you know, it's going to come out a lot better if we can address that. So if we look at this with show and result off, you can see that, you know, we don't have these lines that flow. So when we look at it, you know, with turbo smooth on, you can see where we get these pinch points. We can't control the thickness of this edge piece very nicely because of the way the geometry suddenly changes, and it's going to be very difficult to control that. Got some other pinch points up here that are causing us some problems, sort of change in direction of things we might be able to address. But we do have one outer ring that's going all the way around here. And so we can see that, you know, that I have this outer ring. And so what I mean by a ring is if we go to polygon mode and we pick one and then we control double click, you'll see it's picked a ring all the way around. But if I go up here and do that and control double click, it doesn't ring around the outside of the bag. So how do we get there and get that to, you know, ring nicer? So you can see we've got a ring across the back. So if I pick that, double click with control down, we've got a ring starting there. And you know, so how do we continue this around? Sometimes it just means, you know, kind of reworking what you've already got, because we've got this vertex here it's creating a quad, but again, just no flow. So let's create that flow all the way around, and we'll do this a nice manual way. So I'm going to use the cut tool, Alt-C, and I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to cut around, and I'm going to cut right across to here and across. I'm going to try and keep these all about the same size as I go around here. You know, I could skip over several to do it. And we'll go back in and we'll take that right back to this one. So what that means is we've got some extras here that really shouldn't be there. You know, you can see that that's going to create some grief. You know, this edge is going to create some grief. I'm just going to remove this edge first. Now we don't want to just hit backspace because that's going to leave that vertex floating there. But if we go and do a control backspace, it will remove that edge. Now if I again go back to verts, you can see we've got this one being left there. Let's get rid of that one as well. We can just hit backspace on that one. You don't want to hit delete because it'll completely delete it. Now we are left with a triangle here, so how do we get rid of that, and how do we control that? Well, if we do a simple edge loop in here, and I just stick a loop in and pull that out now, I'm just going to go to Alt right click screen space and move that loop out. What you'll notice is we've actually got a quad here. Okay, so I'm going to show end result, and you can see now we've got this nice flow of geometry going around. Still a little bit uncontrollable here. We're going to have to figure that out. But one of the problems is this right here. Just going to show end result off. We have this vertex here and not here. I can deal with that with cut again. So Alt-C. I'm going to cut from there up to this one. And then I'm going to take this one down. Now you can either do this just by kind of guesswork, but here's a neat little hotkey again. Shift X, and it's actually puts that vertex and forces it to slide along the neighboring vertices. If you're wondering where that tool is, it's right here. So this is not constrained. This one's constrained, so that's Shift X to toggle that on and off, which is nice because I can slide it along. I don't have to worry about my topology as much. It's going to move out along that edge. Now, make sure you turn it off though, because it'll really confuse you when you're trying to do things and you're trying to figure out why things are kind of stuck. And it's because you have that on. I'm just going to go back to my, let's see, I'm going to pull that on. And again, I can even just do this manually and kind of pull it out. And we're going to go over to this side, and I could just go and get rid of both of these. And I'm just going to backspace those out of there. Again, puts us a triangle here. I'm just going to take one of those there. And then I'm going to just going to drop that, and we'll take a look at the topology. So you can see now that topology is really smooth and fluid around that top edge. So you can see that edge now has loops running around, and it's pushed these little sort of connectors up into the mesh a little bit more. But that means we have this nice clean edge all the way around. So if you look at this, we have this extruded piece that comes out all the way around the edge. We can do that now because we have that edge there. So if I go in and just double click, control double click and grab that loop all the way around, and maybe you don't want these, okay? We can extrude these and create that, that little step out. So I'm just going to go to extrude, and I'm going to shift click on it because sometimes controlling it can be really hard. Now, if you notice, it's taking an average of all of them, and it's going off in some crazy angle. All we got to do is say local normal, and we can try and control it a little bit better with local normal and see if we can get it to sit out from that surface a little bit. And what that's going to get us is that little tiny edge that we can control here. I'm just going to take that down, maybe that up a bit more, and then we can work on that shape. So that looks pretty good. It's getting us that seam around the outside where the material is folded over. So we can also do that around the outside here. I'm going to go control and double click on that loop all the way around, and let's get this extra little piece that sticks out all the way around the side. We'll do it exactly the same way. Shift click on extrude, or you can open up the extrude settings, and then we can sort of easier to control the amount. And again, we want to make sure we're on local normal, and we can extrude out that piece all the way around so that we've got that extra little chunk kind of coming out. And I'll just turn that off, and there you go. We've got that nice little piece sticking out. We can easily follow edge loops now if we want to tighten up the corners. We've got a piece tightened up here. And we could even think about that elsewhere. Should one be going around the outside of the bag, can we redirect and get polygons flowing as you would expect them to flow?